Nancy, Dave, I think maybe we'll just wait one more minute and we'll start. All right. I see the participant list is still growing, but I think in the interest of time, maybe we'll just get started. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, especially on your lunch hour. Appreciate you taking time out to learn a bit about the Calvet College Fee Waiver Program, and also some new changes to the process that are going to require a little bit of work on your part, not much, but all done for the purposes of securing the program up a little bit. My name is David Lawrence. If my name sounds familiar, it's because prior to joining Calvet 2019, I was the Veteran Services Specialist in Chancellor's Office for the better part of a decade. So I'm sure there's some folks here I probably know. Enjoyed working there a great deal, and I'm enjoying my time at Calvet. I'm joined today by Nancy Noriega. Nancy is an analyst in our office. She's been there about 20 years, and Nancy knows more about the Calvet College Fee Waiver Program than any other human being walking planet Earth. She's definitely our subject matter expert. We basically have two presentations in one. Nancy's going to do an overview of the College Fee Waiver Program. I know from my time in the community colleges, the Calvet Fee Waiver Program wasn't used a ton. Obviously, the CSU does the vast majority of them. So there might be folks that really aren't familiar with the program. She's just going to do a quick overview of the program for those that might be new. And then we're going to be followed up. She'll be followed up by Dave Steer. Dave works for Panasoft or Panoramic. Panoramic is a corporation or a company, software company that Calvet contracts with to manage the VetPro system, which I never do this any justice, Dave, and I'm sure you can explain better when it's your turn. But essentially, it's like a data a platform for sharing data between county CVSO offices and Calvet. They do claim work out of it, and in the very near future, with the 23-24 academic year fee waivers, colleges will be able to access it through a portal to securely pull down Calvet fee waiver approval letters. So we've had to take some steps with regards to the fee waiver from a security standpoint, because as most of you are probably aware, the program was breached, has been breached in the last couple of years. There's an individual that was producing fraudulent fee waiver letters and charging students who would not normally otherwise qualify for a fee waiver for those letters. I can't say anything else about that at the moment because it's an ongoing situation, and that's about what I can say. But we've taken some steps to ensure that in the future this type of fraud can't occur again, and we can keep the program safe and solvent. So with that said, Nancy, about ready to start your overview. So Nancy will do her overview. There's a Q&A chat box, question box. After she does her piece, I'll answer questions, or she and I will answer questions regarding her portion of the presentation. And then Dave will do his piece. And then after he's done, we'll answer questions regarding his piece of the presentation. So thank you again. And once again, here's Nancy Noriega to do an overview of the fee waiver program.
Thank you, David. Thank you once again for allowing us the opportunity to share a quick overview or a snapshot of what happens before you receive an award letter. So next, David. Next slide. David?
Yeah, it's switched on my side. Are you not seeing it?
Oh, okay. Okay. So as you probably know, the basic benefit is the waiver of system-wide tuition and fees at any of the three institutions, the California Community Colleges, Cal State Universities, or UC campuses. So for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, in other words, if you didn't join us back in September or back in October, Briefly, the college fee waiver program was broken down into 4 different parts in order for the general public to understand the entitlement and the basic requirements. We call those Plan A, B, C, and D. And I will briefly touch on those. We understand that you do not process these applications, but like David said, it's a good idea to just, give you give you an idea of what goes on behind closed doors. Next, please. So Plan A applies to children, spouses, and unmarried surviving spouses of 100% service-connected veterans. Concurrent receipt under Plan A and Chapter 35 benefits are prohibited. There is no, I've never actually been able to find out exactly why this is prohibited, but I suspect that it's because Chapter 35 benefits is the equivalent of the state college fee waiver. So some people would interpret that as double dipping, but nevertheless, Plan A and Chapter 35 benefits are prohibited. We also encourage applicants to research their classes before enrolling. As you probably know, vocational curriculums or privately funded classes are not waived or are not covered under the fee waiver. So it's very important, if at all possible, let the student know to carefully research their classes. So Plan B, children, oh, can you go back one more time, Dave? Okay, Plan B, children are the only dependents eligible under this plan. By far, it is the most popular program. There is no wartime service required for the veteran, no specific age requirements for anyone, and there are no provisions against receipt of fee waiver in Chapter 35 benefits. However, there is that income limit. The income limit is published around February of each year. And current academic year is always based on the prior calendar year's annual income plus parental support. And the easiest way to put that is, let's say that we are living or we are in academic year 23-24. The most complete tax year would be 2022. By the same token, let's think about academic year 30-31. What's the most complete tax year? It would be 2029 and on and on. So again, I highlight and bold the last bullet because we have so many students that apply, go through the motions, they get all of their classes together, only to find that those particular classes are not waivable under the fee waiver. So it's always a good idea to remind the student to research their curriculum carefully. Next, Dave. Plan C is designed for California National Guard members and applies to dependents and surviving spouses of members of the California National Guard. This application is processed at Calvet. Their Plan C are not very common. In the last 10 years, I've received 2 requests under for a California National Guard member. However, the law is there, so this information is viewable on our webpage, on our application, and we also encourage the county veteran service officers to make people or members aware that this plan is available to them. Also, Plan D is not very common, but the regs are there. In all information on our webpage, application, and via the CDSOs, and it's designed for Medal of Honor recipients. And it applies also to children of Medal of Honor recipients. There is an income limit for the child. If you, or we actually tell the CVSOs, if you come across a Plan C or Plan D application, you can scan it and email it to me. Some CVSOs opt to mail. That's okay. So we provide my information there, 1227 O Street, Suite 500, etc. If they want to email it, my email is down at the bottom. Next, please. So about 3 decades ago, calvet entered into an agreement with the county veteran service officers in that they would review and establish eligibility for their local veterans. Now, families, veterans, dependents are not limited to applying in their county. They can go to an adjacent county if they like. But if they wish to, there's a local office where they live. We network with all 56 counties. There are 58 counties in California, 56 are in the network because we have 2 dual counties. CVSOs are sanctioned to 3 conferences per year where training for college fee waiver and other VA related subjects are conducted. So once eligibility has been established, a CVSO issues either an approval letter or a denial letter. So for an approval letter, Dave Steer will be sharing with you the new changes in the new process. He will handle that portion. I will concentrate on denials just briefly. If a CVSO or a designated individual provides an applicant with a denial letter and the specific reason for the denial, the student has the option to appeal to the California Veterans Board. So if they're not satisfied, the appeal letter at the bottom, it has a short paragraph that provides them with instructions on how to appeal to calvet. Once calvet reviews the appeal, we will either approve or deny that appeal. Sometimes we overturn the appeal because there was some technicality. It's very rare though. I would say 9, if not 10 out of 10 times, the county has properly denied the applicant. So I'm actually the person that reviews these appeals. So if I further deny the application, and if the dependent is not satisfied with calvet's results, they have the option to further appeal to the California Veterans Board. Now, the California Veterans Board serves as an advocate for the families and consists of 7 members appointed by the governor who are subject to appointment and who are completely independent from calvet. So they're not, they serve on behalf of the families. Let me put it that way. So let's say that, for example, if a CVSO denies an application and the applicant appeals to calvet and calvet further denies the application, the student has the option to appeal to the calvet board. So my results or my findings are reviewed by our attorneys. And this is sort of like a check and balances, just to make sure that I looked at all options and I left no stone unturned. So once the appeal moves over to the calvet board, we have to make sure that it was properly denied. And the calvet is placed in a peculiar position because we are sort of sandwiched in. On one end, we have to ensure that all veterans attain all the benefits that they are entitled to due to honorable service to our country. But on the other end, we have to make sure that if you as the school receives a college fee waiver award, we have to make sure that these applications are properly vetted and that the veteran and dependent meets the minimum qualifications. So it's a little dancing game, but we work very hard for to meet both ends. So next, please. So again, thank you very much for this brief overview. For the schools that will be engaging in the new process, you can contact David and myself on the middle email, CFW or California Fee Waiver at calvet.ca.gov. Also, you have my direct email. And at the very bottom, if you come across a student who is not sure about where to apply for this college tuition fee waiver, they can visit that webpage, www.cacvso.ca.gov, and they can find their local county veteran service office, and staff there will be happy to assist them apply for these benefits.
All right, thank you, Nancy. As I mentioned at the beginning, there's a Q&A box. We've got a few questions in here, so Nancy, stand by. I'm gonna read them off.
Okay.
Michelle says, "Good afternoon." Good afternoon, Michelle. Thank you. Connie asked, "Will the presentation be posted for future review?" We have two wonderful members of the CalTAP team are working behind the scenes right now. Jenna Adams and Sean Campbell, mainly to keep Nancy and I from blowing Zoom up. We're both technologically challenged. So I'm going to bring Jana. Do we send out a link to everybody that was in attendance of the presentation? I know you said I'd have one.
We don't send a link directly out, but if anybody posts their email address in the Q&A box, I'm more than happy to send it to them, or they can get it from you either way, but we're more than happy to do that.
Okay. Or is there the website, is a YouTube site where we keep the videos that maybe directing towards that as well?
Yeah, we can post it on YouTube, and I can post the link to our YouTube page in the chat during this, and it should be there. Sometimes it takes about a week or so to actually get put on our YouTube channel, but it'll be there. Okay.
So yeah, type your information in the chat, and we'll get it over to you, or to the Q&A box. We'll get it over to you. James Mitch Laughlin asked, Nancy, is income you discussed for student, applicant, or parents?
The income limit is assessed to the student. We are not concerned with the parent's income. It is strictly the student's tax return, adjusted gross income, that we are concerned, plus value of support from parents. But what we are mainly concerned is the student's adjusted gross income.
All right. Candy Alvarez asks, hello, do you happen to have screenshots of this webinar? Candy, we can send you some screenshots of the PowerPoint if that helps, or you can just put your information in the box and we can send you the actual recorded version of this if that helps. Desiree asks, confirming, since this is an entitlement, all Calvet fee waiver recipients should be exempt from CCPG loss of fee waiver guidelines. Do you know what that means, Nancy? CCPG, loss of fee waiver guidelines? It's not a term
I'm not really sure what those acronyms mean. CCP what?
CCPG, loss of fee waiver guidelines.
I'm gonna have to research that. I'm not quite sure.
We'll do some research on that, Desiree, and I'll get back to you. I've got your contact info, so I'll respond to you. Sorry, we're not able to answer that right at this point in time. And let's see here. Got people putting their contact info in here. CCC, it's California Promise Grant and income-based fee waivers. California College Promise Grant. I don't know. So it's a program, the community colleges. It's funny. I put together the first college promise grant program, which is actually a grant program back in, I don't know, like 2017 and 2016, but it's now system wide. And I believe students have a certain GPA are able to attend for free.
Yes. Well, typically if you have a grant and an award letter, it is technically up to the school and the student about what they're going to be used. If a grant is issuing money to pay for the classes, you cannot get your classes or your classes waived and then receive money.
No,
so those two will not happen, and that's between the school and the students, or technically up to the schools.
Let's see here. And then some people are commenting, Donnie Prince. Hi, Donnie. The calvet waiver is one of the ways for students to qualify for the CCPG without having to apply for financial aid.
That is up to the student.
Yeah, and these financial aid questions are a little out of our wheelhouse. I'm not sure if someone qualifies for both, how you guys handle that at the campus level.
Yeah, that's something that should be in the policies or procedures of the schools. What happens is once an award letter, once the veteran and the dependents is vetted and a college fee waiver award, it goes out of our office or out of the county office, our authority has ended. And what is waived, what is not waived, and what applies to the student or not, it's really between the student and or the school specifically. So that would be out of our pay grade, for lack of a better word.
All right. All right. Well, that seems to be most everything related to your presentation. So I'm going to stop sharing yours real quick, and Dave, give you the opportunity to load yours up. There you go. Now my head is twice as big as it was before. quick, Dave, put your presentation up. So as I mentioned before, these changes are in response to the fraud that was discovered. And really our goal was to come up with a process that eliminated the student from having the actual approval letter in their hands and walking that into a campus. And I know some county offices actually email the schools. It's not consistent across the board. And a lot of times the student is the one walking that form in. So we've eliminated them actually carrying an actual approval letter. They're going to carry a different document in, which Dave's going to talk about a little bit right now. So with that said, Dave, I'm gonna let you do your piece.
Hi there. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Nancy. And thanks everybody for your time today. My name's Dave Steer. I'm a project manager for Panoramic Software. We've been doing county and state government software since before the internet, and we've been doing a program called VetPro for the counties of California for over 2 decades now. It's grown. It was a Windows product, and then it became a web product. Before it was a Windows product, it was a DOS program that some of our users still have the floppy disks on their desk as souvenirs. But what VetPro does is it facilitates the filing of veteran claims to the VA. And it also helps Calvet to keep track of all of the county's work that they do, marching to the same sheet of music so that they can get their proper portions of state subvention funds that Calvet is in charge of administrating. So the college fee waiver program that we're talking about today has undergone some changes, fairly minimal, but they're significant. I'm going to cover those right now, and then we'll answer your questions. So thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Let's see, let me turn off that. And then do you guys see my presentation slide?
Yes.
And let me see here.
I can't see it. Can you see it, David? Lawrence?
I can.
Huh. Okay.
Let me get a couple windows out of the way, and I should have the right control that I need here. Okay,
Yes,
there
I
we go.
can.
Sorry. Okay, thanks. Sorry about that. I had a couple technical difficulties there. So the Calvet college fee waiver system. This is specifically for your role as the administrators at the college level who will be processing these. The objectives overview for this project were to enhance the security and accountability of the DVS 40 college fee waiver tuition program, to simplify the process for all involved, allowing for paperless processing and remote work, to remove the opportunity for fraud by relying on a unique code instead of an official signature, official in quotes, because that was the source of vulnerability for the program. So as far as your access to this system, it's very simple. There's two pieces to it. Each college will have a unique username that you'll use to log on, and then you'll be provided a unique URL address that will be provided by Calvet for accessing the portal. So those two pieces, the unique ID for the URL and then your unique college name are all that's required for logon. There's no additional password or multi-factor authentication on this. These can be changed at any time by Calvet administrators to maintain security in the event that somebody gets a hold of that URL or the username, and I can't imagine what they do for it except provide a service to the student even with that information. But folks that perceive a vulnerability, we're always open to hear what that is. But no password required is the nice thing. So once you enter the username and hit log on, you'll be taken to this redemption page. There's only really two pieces of information that you need to enter here. You'll need to provide the code that the student was given by the CVSO. That's on the code letter that they received. And this is a copy of whoops, let me go back. This is what that letter will look like that the student receives that they will be presenting to your office. It's basically the same wording as the existing and the pre-existing fee waiver award letters, but there's this special code that's here, and that's the whole key to this system right here. They'll also provide their full social for validation. The letter itself will only show the last four. So unless the student has identification proving they are this person and can provide their full social, they won't be able to redeem this. You'll enter their social and the code on the redemption page, just like that, and hit verify award code. We'll double check the connection between these two numbers and whether or not they have in fact received an approved letter. Validated codes that match up with what the CVSO has approved will offer you the opportunity to redeem that waiver and then download or print a copy of that award certificate for your purposes at the college level. So once the social and the award code have been approved, you'll see this page. It offers more information about what's happened here, the location of the school where you've redeemed it, the date that you've redeemed it. It's also got the date that it was authorized by the CVSO and other important information about academic year and the location of the CVSO office. The award code may be redeemed once. This will log when and where it has been redeemed. And then, so this won't change. You'll always see when it was redeemed, but anytime you need to provide another copy of the certificate for any reason, you can always hit this download certificate button, and you'll have access to the PDF of the award certificate. again, it'll be a PDF format, so you can download it and save it digitally in your electronic files, or print to paper if that's what you're relying on. And this is the certificate that you'll receive that will take the place of the award letter the student used to provide to you. Got information about what's been redeemed, how and when and where, and then just a little click if you need to contact Calvet for any reason. So thank you. That's essentially the process. So let me stop sharing screen and then switch over here.
All right, I'm going to go to the questions. And actually, before I do, just let everybody know. So there's going to be a communication that I will send out in early January that will contain the portal link, a college user guide that Dave and his team have created. It's a pretty easy process, and you likely wouldn't need it, but it'll be in that email as well. And other information so that you're up and ready to roll once these start coming in for the 23-24 academic year, which my guess is probably March, April, they start coming. So you'll have that information in advance, and we'll get that to you here in early January. I'm actually working on it as we speak. So let's see here. When will your URL be sent to whom? So it's going to be sent to campus certifying officials. And after it's originally sent, if you decide there's another individual that should be the one that has it, maybe a VRC director, we're trying to find a position that exists in all three systems of higher education, but understanding that all three operate differently. My name and contact information, as well as Nancy's, is on every letter that a student brings in, so you can reach out to us quickly with questions. And I understand the rollout of something new is probably going to be a little clunky in the very beginning, but we're here to help you through the first few until we get this system down pat. Okay. Second one, college universities going to automatically receive their username URL. Yes, that will be coming from us. Why does the award letter state veteran and list the same name of student? Let's see that. Why does the award letter state veteran and list the same name of student? I don't know that I understand what that means.
But they have the same name or the same last name?
I'm confused. I'm a little confused by that question. If you want to add some more detail, I can come back to it. Let's see here. How to receive login information. Can the award letter be redeemed by multiple schools, campuses in 1 year? So the process is going to be similar to the way it is now, in that, now a student would receive a letter for each school he or she is attending. They will receive multiple letters if they're attending multiple schools, because each letter can only be used by one campus. So Dave, this one's for you. Will the letters remain accessible permanently, or do schools need to keep their own archives?
They will remain accessible through the portal indefinite.
Let's see. All right, let's see what's next here.
I don't know if the question pertained to the certificate that previous question, but I tried to bring that up on the share screen there.
The VA is trying to get away from using Social Security numbers for other education benefits. Does Calvet anticipate making similar change in the future? This is just the first iteration of this new process, and I imagine it will be refined as we get into this and realize there might be easier ways. I mean, I imagine the portal is always going to be part of the process. I think it would be, maybe ideal at some point if a college could just access the portal and pull down every approval letter, that's been issued for a student attending a school. That's down the road. But yeah, we will definitely look at ways to make the process easier and smoother as we go along. My daughter graduates from high school next year. When can we start applying? Thanks. So, Nancy, when can they start applying for 23-24? Is it after April 15th?
Yes, typically 2 or 3 months before the academic year starts. If it's a Plan B application, that requires income verification. So yes, after April 15, and if the student does not have a reportable income, then the student will need a non-filing letter. So either a tax return or a non-filing letter issued by the Franchise Tax Board or the IRS.
So actually, they could begin if they're not claiming non-filing and they file their return prior to April 15th, they could actually start that process once they've.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Second school download the fee waiver. No, a second school will not be able to download the fee waiver. That student would have another letter for that second institution. What if our financial aid office handles this? How do we get them the necessary information? I'm not sure how that would work on your campus. If it's simply a matter of a certifying official downloading the form and then forwarding it to your financial aid office. If you have some particular concern, Tanya, feel free to reach out to me and we can talk it through. I'm just not, I don't know how your campus works. Stephanie says, does the new certificate have the authorizing official signature, or will the award code replace the signature? The award code is replacing the signature. The signature was what was, what was accessed by the individual that committed the fraud and manipulated along with other things. So yeah, we wanted to get rid of the signature on there so that someone with a particular type of software can't recreate, a fee waiver and use the same signature that was on it before. If a school has more than one SCO, will the URL be sent to all of them? That's funny. That's Hope Medina. Thank you, Hope. I got a contact list from Heather, and I noticed that there are some schools that have 4 and 5. My thinking was that I would reach out to the group to find out, if there's a primary certifying official of the group. So I'm going to have to probably reach out to a few schools that have more than one to find out who the appropriate individual will be to send that information to. And then my guess is that you'll work out a process amongst your your certified officials to share that login information. And maybe I shouldn't be encouraging that. I don't know, Dave, don't get mad at me, but I will. It's going to require some work on my part to figure out which one it needs to go to. Can there only be one login per school? The school system has a program that allows a waiver, like our UC Study Abroad program. Can they have their own login created? Our Study Abroad program does not have shared billing or student information. The students in the past have taken their calvet fever to their office directly. Can there only be one login per school? There is only one login per school, right, Dave? The way it's set up? Yeah. So unfortunately, yeah, we're limited to the one login. So I want to understand better. Are you saying Calvet award?
That username could be shared amongst a group of people at the school. They would each have the same access to redeem.
Yeah. Okay. So are you saying the Calvet award letter will be sent to the certified official? It's going to, well, like I said, there's some CVSOs that may end up emailing you the letter with the code, not the actual award certificate. They don't have the ability to send that. I would say in most cases that letter is going to be handed off to the student, and he or she will be bringing that into you. In fact, on the letter itself, it tells the student to go to the campus and connect with the campus certifying official. So that's their instructions. So likely, more times than not, it's going to be the actual student that brings it in. It's not going to go directly to the school. If the student is at one USC or UC and goes to another for a summer session, do they need to reach out to their VSO to get a new letter? Yes, they'll need one for each school. So just to clarify, if a student wants to use their Calvet fee waiver at another campus, they have to go back to their CVSO and apply for the waiver again. I don't know that. I don't think it would be a matter of them having to apply. They would just need to have a second letter issued to them, which I don't think is a very difficult process. I think it's very, very simple. It can probably be handled just via a phone call, and it could be emailed to them, right, Dave? Marcy says some non-filing letters weren't available till June or July. I know people have, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Nancy, better luck reaching out to the Franchise Tax Board than they do the IRS to get the non-filing letters.
Yeah, if they're having issues with the IRS, there's always franchise tax board. And if franchise tax board is not coming through, unfortunately, that is out of our control. It is a completely different, or they are completely different agencies, and they'll just have to wait and work it out until they get that information. We cannot move forward without the income verification.
Yeah. Does this benefit only apply to dependents, or can it also be used by the vet?
The fee waiver is designed for dependents, or let's say children, spouses, or unmarried spouses. Unfortunately, and current law does not allow the college fee waiver to be issued to the veteran themselves. But there are education benefits at the federal level.
Well, the last page of the award certification lists the point of contact of the county that issued the approval. The letter does have the county information in the middle at the top, right, Dave, if I'm not mistaken. And as I mentioned, my contact information and Nancy's contact information is also on there. So you can reach out to us as well if you need assistance. If you're trying to get a hold of somebody and can't get a hold of somebody over the county, please feel free to reach out to Nancy or I, and we'll give you a hand with that. Although students may begin to apply as long as they file Plan B. In the past, we had to wait on Calvet fee waiver application. When will the 23-24 application be available?
It probably won't be available until about March or April, which is months before even the summer starts. We understand some summers are part of the upcoming academic year, so the applications are always available months before then.
Is it okay to make a copy of the Calvet fee waiver form, or does the school need to stay with the original form? I don't know that I understand that Calvet fee waiver form. Are you talking about the actual certification letter? Candy, if you can add a little bit more information so I can better answer that question. Let me see. Give me 1 second here. I moved a little too far. I think it would be helpful to be clear if the student has to apply for the Calvet waiver again at another campus, or they just ask to issue CVSO to issue another waiver. Yeah, as I mentioned, they just would just contact the CVSO, and CVSO would just issue them a new letter with a code, and then they would walk in with that. Can you change the format of the award certification? Have the student's information listed first? We can certainly consider that. So I'll make a note of that and take a look at that. Dan, if you want to add a reason why or how that would be helpful to you guys, that would be good to know. Our financial aid department handles the fee waivers. Our SCOs do not. Do we send them access info, or will you be doing that? You would, Connie. We'll send it to the certifying official, and then you can forward it on to your financial aid office. Are veterans who are also dependents eligible for the fee waiver?
That's an excellent question. Yes, under Plan A, the dependent, there is no income limit, but there's an age limit that it's up to 27 years old for the dependent. However, if the dependent happens to be a veteran, the age limit is extended to 30 years old. So a veteran who is applying as a dependent can qualify under Plan A.
So the forms can come from the students directly, and they're acceptable as long as they have the approval code. They don't need to come from the VSO. Correct. In fact, they will, I would say, probably the vast majority of the time come from the student themselves. It's got the code, and if it's a scam, you won't be able to validate it and redeem it. So I think we're good there. But yeah, it will likely come from the student, but it could come from the VSO, because I know like I said, there's counties that still send those out via email as well. Marcy asks, spouse has no age limit for the fee waiver, correct?
Correct. Under Plan A, correct.
Okay, if the student needs to bring the certification to a new school, does a college listed on the award certification form need to be updated by the VSO first?
The letter that the student's bringing does not doesn't have the college listed on it. So
Right.
it's a matter of where that college gets redeemed, that gets logged and listed on the certificate.
Gotcha. Okay. Marcy added to her original question regarding spouse has no age limit for fee waiver, dependent spouse that may also be a veteran. Do you hear that, Nancy?
I'm sorry, what?
Follow up. got you sleeping. Got you. No, Marcy asked us.
My happy place.
You did look pretty happy being on a webinar. Marcy asked a minute ago, spouse has no age limit for the fee waiver, correct? And then she followed up and said, dependent spouse that may also be a veteran.
She is better off applying as a spouse because the college fee waiver does not apply to veterans themselves.
So the spouse is also a veteran, the dependent that's applying.
That's good, but she would apply as a spouse.
Okay.
Not as a veteran, because the college fee waiver is not designed for veterans, just dependents, spouses, unmarried spouses, etc.
Gotcha. All right. That seems to be all the questions. I'll give you a couple seconds if anybody wants to throw any other questions in there.
And Dave, can I clarify something?
Absolutely.
Briefly? Someone was asking about awards or fee waivers or grants, etc. Calvet is not granted the authority to decide whether the student is assessed that and or the fee waiver. Again, once the fee waiver is issued, our authority, our involvement is done, and it's up to the school. If the student has grants, loans, other fee waivers, they will decide along with the student or based on their policies and procedures whether the fee waiver is accepted or not. It cannot be accepted because they already have, or the student has accepted other types of fee waivers or other payments for tuition, etc. All up to the school. That's why we kind of drew a blank, because we have no involvement simply because the law does not provide us that authority. So we stay out of it pretty much.
All right, we have another question. Martina asked, what is the best way to refer students to you to add a school? Is there an email address, website? They would work through the county, through the VSR or Veteran Service Rep at the CVSO site that assisted them in the first place. But if they're having problems getting a hold of that person again, Martina, feel free to refer them to me. I hold the purse strings to their subvention allocations, so they tend to respond to me in a timely manner. So yeah, feel free, Martina, if you have a student that's not getting a response from CVSO, to reach out to me, and I'll assist with that. Alyssa asks, is there any GPA or grade requirements for the fee waiver program?
That is an excellent question. We do not assess any grade point average. Sometimes I get calls from students, my goodness, I had to drop 2 classes for whatever reason. We have no involvement in that. That is completely up to the student and the school. If the student dropped classes, dropped school, GPA, anything, it's between the student and the school.
Sandra asks, can the student list more than one college per application, or do they have to submit one application per college? Correct me if I'm wrong, Nancy and Dave, it's just one application they submit, and then they would get multiple letters for multiple colleges. Am I correct there?
Well, I don't know. Dave Steer, I'm not sure how this is going to work with the new process, but yes, they do have to apply. They would have to just, if they are going to UC Santa Barbara and now they're going to a community college, they do have to complete an application just real quick that lists the new school so they can get another letter for that different school. Is that how it's going to work?
Is that still the process, Dave?
As far as the application goes, I forgot that the college is listed on the application, so I imagine they would need to fill out an application for each school. Okay. But as far as the file, the electronic file that the VSO has on the veteran and the dependent, they would, all the other required evidence would be common to that. So they wouldn't need to go through the whole application process. They just need to fire off an application, and then they would be able to provide a second, code letter for the student.
What, I'm thinking, I mean, Sandra brings up a good point here, maybe something that we should think about, and that is, since these letters that the students are getting isn't school specific, if we eliminate the need for the school on the application, then would that eliminate the need for extra applications to attend other schools?
I think it would. Yeah.
Sandra, I appreciate you bringing that up. That's something that
we need to talk about that.
We need to talk about, and we'll do what we can to make sure that this is as easy as possible for the students. So thank you for bringing that up. Appreciate the question. To confirm, there's no limit to the minimum number of credits or maximum of credits covered by the fee waiver, correct?
Credits, you mean school units, school credits?
Yeah, so
no, that is up to the school.
I don't know if the individual is asking about, per semester or quarter or over the lifetime of the student.
Oh, well, if the question is, I'm only attending a quarter time or part-time, the fee waiver covers full-time or anything under for an entire academic year.
So if I'm going taking 6 units a semester, that could be covered. If I'm just doing 3, it would be covered. So, okay. And there's no maximum number of credits someone can earn. It's just they're either eligible for the waiver or they're not. So it's not like, hey, I'm, at a community college and I've got 180, credits or units, because I'm just figuring out what I'm going to do. They can still get it. Okay.
Yeah. If you're familiar with our application, there is absolutely nothing that asks or covers GPA, other grants, whether you're attending full-time or part-time, nothing like that. That is all handled at the school level. For example, I suspect, at Sac State, if you drop classes, you may have to pay some money back, etc. We are absolutely separated from that, and that's up to the school and the student.
Okay. When will we gain access? When will schools have access? Those ones came up. So technically you have access now. You just don't have the information you need to access the system. As soon as I send out the communication, you will have the ability to go in, but would need a code to access anything which comes on the letter from the student, which won't be issued until the 23-24 academic year. But you'll have access, Chris and Anonymous, in January when I send you the information portal link. Bo asks, Nancy, does Plan B cover graduate level fees or only undergraduate?
All of the above, undergraduate, postgraduate, as long as they meet the minimum qualifications, they can be granted an award letter. Of course, and I'm sure unless they are applying or attending a private institution or a public institution that has a privately funded curriculum. No private or vocational schools, etc. That's also up to the school. But yes, postgraduate, undergraduate, all of the above.
Are students allowed to take any classes they want, or must they register for classes which are part of their degree or certificate program?
It's up to that's really up to the school. We do not ask the student, are you already enrolled in classes? They apply, and if they meet our minimum requirements, along with the veteran, they are issued an award letter. A lot of students have applied already. Others are just getting their ducks in order. That is nothing that we require.
Okay. Ken asks, I will be retiring this coming August. If in the event my DD 214 is delayed, can I still initiate my child's application for the 23-24 school year?
We typically don't do this, but under certain circumstances, I will ask if the CDSO is not able to verify the veteran's information, I'll I'll pick up that application and I will contact our district offices. As long as Calvet has POA or a power of attorney, then we can go into your file and verify your veteran status. That's possible.
So Ken, feel free to reach out to Nancy or I, you know, if you need help with that, and we will absolutely take that up for you. So that looks like it's it. Thank you, everybody. Really, really appreciate you taking time out of your lunch hour to join us. I hope this was helpful. Stay tuned. More information is headed your way. And with that, I think we're done. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.